5 minutes late.
We won't hold her to that.
Right.
Okay.
She's on the computer on a conference or something.
Everyone had a chance to look at the minutes?
Got it.
Good, that gives Catherine time to get here.
While he's reading, I just have a question. We have in here about the January minutes, that there was a correction, that there was, how do we write that? Minutes from January 12th were reviewed, a clarification correction was noted.
Yeah.
Did you by any chance change those minutes? Did you type up that change?
No, what I do is I simply record it in
Okay,
the next group of minutes.
so I see this happening with other departments too. It's kind of a sticking point for me. So if I don't go to the meetings and I don't watch the recording, if I read this, it says a clarification correction was made,
Okay.
but it doesn't say what it is. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh, okay, so they would have to go back and look at Sexton's stipend.
right, yeah,
So you're just saying it's not clear enough?
right.
Okay.
And it's fine for now, just something to note for going
Okay.
forward, just, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Am I special?
You're special.
Yes, you are. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you have extra?
No.
Oh, nice. Oh, we have, yeah. I
Oh,
love
you
that.
too.
We are reusing and recycling, and that's awesome. I mean, and it's a good message anyway. For God and country,
I
we
guess that's
associate
fine.
ourselves together. Nice.
At least it
Okay.
was a nice pick.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Um, mhm.
Next agenda item is budget committee member interviews. Do you want to wait for Catherine or?
No, because she can't hear us anyway, so.
Okay.
And he knows that she's gonna be 5 minutes late and
I feel we should, because I think that that's an important part of our committee.
I,
I mean, that's a decision.
Yeah.
Approving minutes is
Yeah,
run of the mill.
yeah.
yes, but how long do you take to wait? That's my thing. Yeah.
Well, she said 5 minutes and I have 6:03, so I'm willing to give her the 5 minutes at least. We could skip to one of the other items on the agenda, which are both kind of on you, I think. The capital improvement plan committee.
That'll be discussed Tuesday. The members will be picked Tuesday on who's gonna.
At the next selectmen's meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, so you haven't chosen people yet?
No.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
oh, I thought that was the, yeah. I thought it came across as being more urgent.
It-
You got pushed back again.
Yes. I'm only one.
Yeah.
Two don't wanna.
Understood.
So you're actually going to announce who was chosen, or
We're gonna choose them Tuesday night.
you're actually going to choose them?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is the door still open for that?
Yes.
Oh, because I heard today that it wasn't.
It is open until Tuesday night at
Thank you.
6 o'clock when we take in,
Thank you.
Next Tuesday night at 6,
this coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
December,
May 21st.
yeah, it's that, yeah.
Okay, and is it open to the public?
Yes,
So anybody from town can ask to be on the committee?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's heading it? Or is that yet to be determined as well?
that's yet to be determined.
Okay. So we don't know what the makeup of the committee's gonna be, we don't know how many people, we don't know who's heading it up, we don't know the time commitment?
No,
Okay,
I have an idea when someone, but and speak up.
Sure, understood, yep. Oh, on that note, I have, did you, so I did say that I would be potentially interested, did you
Yes.
as well?
No.
No,
It was just you,
oh, okay.
and your name did get put in on the list as somebody interested.
Darn it. Okay,
Well, you don't want to do
no,
it.
it's okay. I did find, there's a volunteer manual the NHMA does, and, you know, every time you go looking for something else, you find, oh yeah, there's that other thing too, and they actually do have, if you want, Ed, for your, they have what a capital improvement program committee member.
Yes, I'm going to, speaking out of turn, be meeting with Sadie, she's a selectman from Canaan,
Okay.
and they've already started a capital improvement program. So she's gonna take and give me information on how to start it, and the do's and the don'ts.
There actually is a lot of information in
There's
the
room by Ed
RS.
if you wanna, then you're
What?
facing front. There's room by Ed, then you can be facing front.
Oh, so there
There is information in the back of the RSAs that talk about a capital improvement plan.
Please, in the interest of the fact that the dog is not hearing it, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
So the update on the capital improvement program plan committee is there's no update, that the selectmen are making a decision next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, go back to budget committee member interviews.
Yep.
So I wasn't here last time you guys did this, I don't know how it worked, if it worked out well for you, if you had people come up one at a time, or just talk through here,
They can talk from there, it's not the way we did it,
or? Okay,
because you have to do it in public, you cannot take them.
right, I just didn't know if you did individual come up to the table and we'll talk, or,
No, because
just kind of a
sometimes they can
free-for-all.
feel a little awkward if they run.
Sure.
Like a job interview.
Right, exactly.
in case we'll just leave this chair over here, in case somebody else shows up, just.
So, all right, I guess I'll head it. So,
Excuse me.
you're first, if you want to tell us your name and,
Yeah, my name's Phil. I live here in Grafton. Lived here as a kid, moved to Canaan, ended up coming back as an adult. I was on the budget committee in Canaan. I am familiar with your capital improvement plan. I was on the budget committee for the school, which is probably the most challenging thing you could possibly do. There's 5 towns with 5 different outlooks on life. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So when I saw the vacancy, I said, why not?
How many years did you actually serve on the budget committee?
For the town, I was there for 2 terms, and for the school, I was there for 1.5, because that was appointed as well. And then I stayed for one term, and then I was voted out after that.
And what was your involvement with the capital improvement plan?
We all worked together to, build this capital improvement plan that doesn't have impact on taxes, basically. You try to take that undesignated balance fund, it basically gives your department heads a reason to not spend their budget. So, which is nice, right? Because the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it type thing. And it takes that out of it.
Oh, so is that where the model came from using the unexpended fund balance to pay for, warrant article? That, where money would be added to the capital reserve accounts?
Right.
Okay,
And then,
okay.
and over there, the voters are the agents who spend, not
Right,
the
right.
department.
Right,
So it's nice, because if you have a plan of what's getting approved, you have a truck, you basically have the money. Same thing with cruisers, things like that, you're not taking loans out.
What was your budget process? Did you interview all the department managers and
Yes.
work from there?
Yeah, so they brought a budget to us, a wish list, if you will. And then, what do you have to have? What can we do to make it fit, the Most departments are pretty good. They don't, most departments know that you can't come in with piles of things that you want that year.
How long have you been back in town?
About 4 years.
4 years you've been back?
Where'd you live in Grafton?
I lived on Snug Harbor Road when I was a kid. The Blue House, there's only 2 of them there. I was on the blue. Yeah, when Mr. and Mrs. Tiltson were,
Yeah.
I was a kid then.
Were you involved in any major budget projects for the town, for the 5 towns?
Oh, for the school? I was there right before the school was voted on.
The renovation to the school
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah. I was a big proponent of, my thing was I like multi-use spaces. So we put a great big auditorium on and has one single purpose in life,
Mhm.
where I felt that we should have been looking at more of a multi-purpose space that could be used by multiple parts of the school.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does Catherine have any questions? Catherine?
Do you have any questions, Catherine? This isn't maybe necessarily wholly pertinent to being on the budget committee itself and being appointed to it, but I did look at the checklist, the voter checklist, and I did not find your name on it.
No, I need to go and register to vote.
Okay.
Here.
Okay. And it's not a requirement, just so everybody knows, it's
Yeah.
not a requirement for us to appoint. I did check with the NHMA, and they said it's not the same as if you were running for office, so I just want to make sure that that's out there in case anybody wants to throw darts at it.
Well, that was very proactive. Thank you.
I think that's,
Thanks Sue Smith, she actually asked me if I knew. So. And for Maureen?
I guess so.
I'm Maureen O'Reilly. You all know all the departments, all the positions that I've held in town. I don't want to go through repeating them all. I was on the budget committee filling in for someone else, not last year, but the year before for 8 months. So I am familiar with the process. I'm familiar with how the town works. And I'm also familiar with the capital improvements plan.
In what way?
Done a lot of research, a lot of homework. Got a whole lot of it here for you if you're interested.
Yeah, I'd like to see that. Not now.
Hey, I don't like tooting my own horn, so.
I know you have an innate aversion to self-promotion.
I would have come in disguise if I could have.
Do either of you see things, I'm not sure how much you pay attention to what the budget committee's been doing in town, but do either of you see things that you think need to be changed in how we do budgets?
I'm guilty. I have not been paying as close attention. Like I said, I kind of got out of it for a while, and
Sure.
yeah.
Fair? Thanks.
Well, I feel like I fixed one of the bigger problems that I saw last year, putting in more line items for you, for the budget. I'd like to see a little more communication between the board as to why they don't like this, or they like this, or agreement, non-agreement,
Do you mean in relationship to line
to certain
items,
budgets
or-
that come on board. I'd like to hear from more members as to how they feel about it, how they feel it could be changed a little, amended up, amended down, a little more conversation between the board.
You mean on, I'm sorry, I'm not clear.
That's okay.
You mean on
I may not be being
amounts?
clear.
For example, if department manager is asking for something,
Yes,
and we're saying that's inadequate or it's too much.
and the
You're
reason why,
saying more
and
explanation. Oh,
for more people, as opposed to just one person speaking up all the time. I'd like to hear how you all feel about it, because one person might feel this way, but the other people might not feel that way, but might be a little intimidated to speak up about it, and you don't expect everyone on the board to feel the same way about everything, so if someone has a different opinion, I'd like to hear it.
I noticed that last year, this committee had voted to have the vote counts on, I think, recommendations
We did.
on the warrant, and for some reason that didn't.
It wasn't necessary when Bonnie went back and looked at the RSA's. Yeah, it wasn't necessary to do that.
Oh, okay. I thought, in reading the minutes, it sounded like it was something the committee wanted to be done, and then the selectmen said, no, we're not gonna do that, or something to that
Oh.
effect, or, yeah, okay. Yeah, because I know the RSA's, it can be voted on to make it mandatory, but
Yes.
yeah,
Right.
but I thought otherwise it could be at your discretion.
That was probably my fault. That's,
Oh.
because when I read the RSA, I interpreted it as being necessary
Right.
Gotcha.
to do it. And then Bonnie had called me and I went back and read it again,
Mm,
and I agreed that it was
okay,
not necessary
Oh,
to do
okay.
that.
All right.
So that's why they didn't show up on the.
Good to know.
On the,
all right,
yeah,
yeah.
but they did show up on the write-up.
Yes, yeah.
I do have a question. I understand that this is a one-year term, but is the term of the party that's no longer on the board just 1 year left, or will you be doing this again? Will we be voting next year for the
And you'll be voting on,
voting again?
yeah,
Okay, for two
Yeah.
more, for
We're only allowed to appoint up until the next town
Well,
right
one
election.
more
until
year.
election.
Yeah.
one more year after? Okay.
So,
I forgot to look that up.
in March, there'll be 2 openings.
Yeah. Which there would have been anyway.
And Catherine's, I think, too.
No, no, it's, Ed and Sandy were both 2025. So it would have been, regardless, this position would only be until next March,
And Catherine's is up when?
2026. Do you have questions for us?
I don't believe so, I mean, no, I don't think I do. I think that, it's hard to have questions till you dive into it and,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I got, question for them, both of them. Excuse me. I know last year, we were meeting sometimes during the day and sometimes at night. Is that a problem for either one of you?
I work full-time, Monday through Friday.
Why do you live in Grafton?
So, yeah, during the day is tough for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
He works at fishing.
Oh, all right.
Fishing?
Yeah.
I wish I could.
People in Grafton who fish all day call it work. No problem for me. As long as you don't mind me coming in my dirty clothes sometimes, because I'm coming right from the garden.
Anybody like to make a motion to select one over the other, or have any
I just have
opinion?
one question. I thought there was more.
Oh, the third person who had expressed interest emailed Sandy and I yesterday. Yeah, yesterday afternoon, I believe, and said he had changed his mind. They had,
It was because he was too busy.
yeah, had too much, he said they had too much on their plates. Yeah. So. Catherine, you have no questions for either of them?
I have a hearing problem and people don't speak up. For some reason, this country doesn't speak up. I'm not used to it.
If you have a question for me, I'd be willing to yell at you.
What?
If you have a question for me, I'd willing to yell
No,
back
you
at you?
answered all my questions earlier today. Thank you very much.
Well,
Would you like us to leave the room?
You wanna discuss it without us, so
no,
that you can?
I don't know if that's appropriate or
I
necessary.
don't know if it's appropriate, but I mean, it's,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, if we're both in agreement to leave for 5 minutes, go outside, have a cigarette, come back in.
I don't think both of you smoke.
No,
Cigarettes, that is.
we'll pretend.
My personal feeling is that I like the fact that you're from Canaan and have dealt with budgets that encompass a number of different communities. And I like the fact that you had worked on the school budget as well and had hands-on experience with that whole process. And the fact that you had multiple years' experience also in the budget committee. So, I'm sorry, Maureen, my vote would be for Phil.
Catherine,
What?
who do you choose?
Hmm?
Who do you choose?
Maureen?
Ed,
No, I'm the breaker, so
can I believe the chair is?
I'm just next officio. I'm actually tossed between the two of them.
That's a coward's way out.
No, it's not, because I think they both bring
They
good.
do, yeah, yeah. I agree with Sandy, sorry, Maureen, I really like the experience Phil's got behind him. So if you made that a motion, I would second it.
I guess I'd have to go with it then,
Okay.
rather than have a tie.
I make a motion to accept Phil to the budget committee.
I'll
Although
second that.
vacancy for 1 year.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
What was the motion? I don't know.
Oh, she made a motion to give the seat to Phil.
That's all. I'm opposed.
3-1, the ayes have it. Welcome aboard, Phil.
thank you.
Maureen, you should head up the capital improvement planning committee. You know exactly how it should go.
I'm sure the select board has someone else in mind for that.
Do you want to swear him in, Ed? Hit the ground running?
Yeah. You could still be on it,
I can still be on it.
on the, capital
Capital
improvements.
So we'll just change our meeting.
Only if the selectmen
Yeah.
pick me.
Yes, but
You're only one, Ed.
I'm just saying that, as far as I know, your name hasn't been submitted.
That's correct, because I didn't realize that you were taking names. Remember at the last selectmen's meeting, I said I didn't know that they were accepting names, accepting people, so.
Yeah.
And then I heard,
Capital improvement.
today that it was done and over with.
Established, yeah.
Next Tuesday at the selectmen's meeting.
It's been voted on, right?
Yeah.
And how many members?
Yeah, that hasn't been decided. It's not gonna be a big group.
But it hasn't been decided exactly on that.
No. It'll be an odd number.
I wonder
Tiebreaker.
why.
Okay, minutes.
Oh, you can have mine if you want. I have this. I printed it out myself too.
I take it you mean, oh,
Yeah.
not even, not straight.
Right.
I think I got it.
All right. Raise your right hand and say the words.
Yeah.
Oh. I, Philip G. Smith Jr., do solemnly
think because it's an appointment, we all have to sign the bottom right. Thank you. Want to
Thank
grab a chair and join us?
Sure.
Is there something, is there a class? Phil, have you done the class in Harvard?
I did not.
What class are we talking about, the budget workshop?
Yeah.
They do it every fall, I want to say like September-ish. I could use a refresher myself.
It's on the other side, so I can actually see people.
Is there anything else?
I think we all, so on the bottom right there, because it's an appointment,
Appointed.
are we all supposed to put our names down there? I feel like that's the way it looks.
Again,
I mean, it ain't gonna hurt nothing, right?
this pen is very valuable. It
Have
just
you
cuts,
touched it?
no, he just, so it's got, can put it in the history book.
Oh, yeah.
Hang it up on the wall. So
Oh.
Yes,
Like when they sign a bill into law or
Exactly.
whatever.
I probably shouldn't do it in this color.
She's got a pen. All right. Very bottom. Thank you. Yeah, can I just real quick take a picture of it, just 'cause those things tend to get lost? And I'm not accusing you of anything whatsoever, you know what I'm talking about.
yes, I do.
I take it you'll turn that into the town clerk for us, is that what you took it for?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And also let the selectmen know. Thank you. Next, before we go too far, Sandy pointed out, with Phil and Phil's work schedule, we'll need to change our next meeting that we had planned, because we had planned for July 9th at 10 a.m.
So when is it gonna be now?
Oh, I was gonna suggest we just keep the same day and make it 6 p.m. if
Check.
the town hall's available,
Yeah.
and you're available.
Same day at 6 p.m.
Let me check that first with Sarah.
Yeah.
For evening.
Yep.
Okay, before you put it on the.
Absolutely, yeah, we don't need to change that 4 times again.
Well, I'll just wait to be notified 2 days before it, and then I shan't forget. July 11th, you said?
July 9th,
9th, okay.
Can't believe it is so.
What day of the week is that?
that's a Tuesday. That's a Tuesday. Sandy will send out an email to everyone to remind us when she verifies with Sarah that
Okay.
it is, the town hall is available. Okay, thank you. So last thing, the next thing on the agenda is the transaction detail report discrepancies and inaccuracies. Have we gotten anywhere with that?
I've addressed them, and she was supposed to work on it, and
So the auditors were in. Do
yes,
you know if that,
that's not done yet.
okay, I just wondered if there was anything that they had,
We won't know yet.
yeah, well, yeah. Sue used to know what was going on because they would talk to her about what was going on,
Oh,
and she could
yeah.
let you know, but I could see where Sarah's perhaps not at that level yet, or,
Right.
okay.
This group was asking totally different questions that just blew everybody right out of it.
Such as?
Well, normally, my interpretation was they would give a list to Sarah or Sue beforehand, so that papers would be ready for them to look at.
Yeah, they would have
papers.
certain things they wanted pulled out.
That weren't the case this year.
Oh.
It weren't until they came and started going through. And there was some real different,
Interesting.
yeah.
Do you know if it was a different crew than we normally get? Because
Yeah.
usually, normally they send at least a couple of the same people year after year.
Yes, but the lead auditor was teaching new ones to,
Oh, okay.
so there has not been a report yet because they're still doing it internally.
Sure. Anyone have anything else they want to discuss this evening?
Maybe we should let them know about that, the transaction detail report as well.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the transaction detail report with your budget experience, so, this is what we received. I can scan that in and email it to you.
That would be
if you'd
great.
like. So, just to note, so this is what we had issues with. Any place I've got a mark on here, which you're gonna get all my marks, I apologize for that.
That's all right.
Actually, let's make it easier here. Sorry, I'm gonna find an example. There were just, the way the line items were being reported is just not quite right. So, here's one. So, it's got a check and then it's got somebody's name and says reimbursement.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know what that was for.
Gotcha.
Right, you know, so that, yeah, that's the kind of, there's a bunch of them in here that'll say,
Just an
town
explanation
credit.
of where this is going.
Right, exactly,
What it's for.
yeah, we allocated funds for something.
Mhm.
What was this, what was she reimbursed for? There's everyone that used, so last year the town treasurer got a debit card for people to use, so they wouldn't be using their own credit cards to purchase things that we couldn't place a PO for. And all those transactions show up in here as town credit card.
Oh,
So you don't know who they bought it from.
he's got to make expense report something.
Yeah, so that was what we were talking about, that there was, so last year we had a new treasurer who had not done it before, and the administrative assistant to the selectman who does all this, had about 6-8 months in at that time. So, or did she have a year already? Yeah, she might have had a, no, she would have been coming up to a year, because she was hired in June. So it was a new treasurer in March, and she had finished her first year in June. So somehow things got a little discombobulated and,
He's got to get back on track.
yeah, exactly. Did I do that right? Is that about right? All right. Not perfect. All right, I'll scan that in and send it to you.
What was your question? What were you looking at?
It says the end of January, but then it's handed to you, the March 2nd.
We got those at the meeting.
Yes.
Ed is questioning the treasurer's report.
The treasurer's report that we had at the last meeting, you know.
Right. It says date 3/2, but as of 1/31.
Yeah, she did it at end of year. That was Dottie, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was Dottie's end of year report. Because then,
right, because then the election was in March.
Please read your report.
Hang on, I'll have to look at it. Let me steal this back for a
Yeah,
second.
go for
It says as of 1/31/2023, that we are actually in 24, so it cannot be 1/23.
You know what, we can ask, but I'd be willing to bet it was a form that she updated from the previous year and just didn't
But
update the date.
But still, it was handed out. Yeah, she's got it dated 3/2.
Yeah.
That was passed out to the budget committee, right? But it says as of January 31st.
Right.
What happened to February's transaction? That's my question.
Is this something the budget committee normally
Yes.
received on
Yes.
a regular basis?
Yes,
So should we have already gotten more?
yes.
No.
No, we hadn't gotten those last year.
We started requesting them because we were having problems getting the amounts. And they were included in our sheets.
For the departments they were, but I don't remember receiving a sheet like that.
No, because every department was, it was put in with the,
In the detail,
yes.
yeah.
So you knew how much money every department had.
Yeah, but this is the overall checking account for the town,
The revolving accounts.
are in there.
That's fine, thank
But
you.
if you look at that, you're not gonna see the revolving accounts in there.
Okay.
That's fine.
This RAS stand for, well, I can't think of.
Hmm?
When it says, it was issued to the departments on 3/2. That says as of 1/31.
Mhm.
That should have been as of 2/31. Whatever,
28.
in February. And it should have said 24, not 23.
Yes, well, I think it's just a typo, isn't it?
Yes, but still, It's still-
Section of the.
Right.
Mhm.
but still, it shouldn't say
Oops.
January 31st.
I have a question about these accounts which is completely unrelated to anything you're talking about. But what happens with the escrow accounts? Where do they go? The assets in the escrow accounts belong to what account, what asset class for the town ultimately?
I can only assume from what they say, the Green Oaks one is they've established an escrow account for their gravel,
The gravel.
gravel tax.
So it goes into some particular aligned place where we're going to have to spend capital, you mean?
Well, through the two, the other one
Well,
that's
I
on
have
there.
another question. When people take land, sell subdivisions and the land, they have to pay a tax to take it out of current use. Where does that money go?
I believe that just goes into the general fund.
Right.
Right.
So when the general fund gets to a level that it cannot exceed, what happens then?
It never gets to that point of level because the selectmen every year, comes October, they take so much of it out and put it towards the,
You mean it's sort of evaluated at the end of the year, and when you see you've got too much in it, well then, that's up to the selectmen to decide where that money goes.
yeah, well, it
How
just,
incredibly dangerous.
it just goes into the pool to reduce the amount of taxes for the people.
Well, okay.
But it don't get divided up amongst the departments or anything.
I mean, as a budget committee, we only deal with the operating budget, so we absolutely divorced of anything that's capital expenditure, correct?
Right.
Bad management.
I'm not sure I understand that. Wait a minute. The budget committee is not involved in any capital expenditures?
No, we only deal with operating budget.
Sure, okay,
So,
all right.
because then all the capital things that go into capital reserves and special warrant articles
Gotcha.
are all decided differently.
Okay.
But
I was multitasking,
but
I
it would
clearly
be
wasn't
nice to have
listening.
some input, because sometimes that excess in the general fund that happens by November, rather than being used to offset taxes, could be used to offset some major capital expenditure that we need to make. Like things in the highway, if they had a proper budget which reflected the need to replace it, it would be something up here rather than down here.
Right.
But I think it's not our job, but we might try and make comments.
Right, exactly. So, back to your escrow question, I was only involved in one escrow account as a selectman, and that was someone who was working out a tax agreement,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a certain time frame they had to come up with a certain amount of money, and they wanted to make sure we held on to their money that they had
So that the
prior to
money
that, so
was
they wouldn't
available.
spend it, so,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
So we had, it was Dottie at the time, Dottie Campbell set up an escrow account for that particular.
Yeah,
And then once they came up with the rest of the money, it all went to the tax collector to pay the taxes. So I assume, and I don't mean to make an ass out of any of us, but I'm assuming this is a similar situation where somebody's got a timber tax warrant that they're expecting to come due, and there's an escrow account set up for that. And then Green Oaks, probably the gravel
What
tax.
is
Although they
Green Oaks?
always tend to be behind in their property taxes too.
What is Green Oaks?
It's the
gravel pit.
gravel pit over here.
Oh, the gravel.
That used to be
I didn't
Frank
know it was
White's,
there.
right? Yeah.
But I mean, timber tax is obviously something that the town looks to have income from whenever we have
Absolutely.
operations, I mean, which, anyway.
Yep.
That's said enough.
All right. Anyone else?
As far as what?
Anything before I say motion to adjourn, because my pizza's at home. It's all good.
I got a question. How come the meeting time was changed?
Excuse me?
How come this meeting was changed?
Oh, because when Phil sent an email expressing his interest, he said that he wasn't available during the day.
Uh-huh. So when I suggested that was a bad time, it was too bad, but when he suggested interest, the time was changed?
Yes.
All right, I have one thing that I want to brought out. And last year during the budget process, when we interviewed all the department heads, and the library trustees came in front of the budget committee and made it very plain and clear that they were not going to ask for any raises this year. We met with one of the trustees about a week and a half ago, and there was a raise given just recently to a member of the library board, and I was told that I was calling Sandy Pearson a liar on it, and my comment was directed right to the library trustee that was right here at this meeting, that said that there would not be any raises for the library. And the trustee made it out as if I was calling Sandy a liar, when Sandy had no authority to give that raise. She could ask.
I didn't give the raise.
I didn't say Sandy gave the raise. I said Sandy can go to the trustees and ask for the raise. But it was
She did go to the trustees and say, I was there.
I said that Sandy
You're speaking up.
has the right to go and ask, and that it was not Sandy that I was calling a liar. It was Debbie. If you want to get names out there. Debbie accused me of calling Sandy a liar.
Well, Debbie runs at the months sometimes.
Exactly.
We know about
And
Debbie.
I got a very nasty letter from Sandy for me calling Sandy a liar. I did not call Sandy a liar. I
You
called.
called Debbie on the way.
Exactly. And
Well, I think that you really went overboard, because lying, this whole business, they came because Robin has been such an exemplary employee. They felt that she was deserving of it if the budget could afford it, and was there some leeway in the budget to do that. And they looked at it and said, yes, there was. It was debated whether they should or should not do it, then they went ahead and did it. The thing is, this whole business of lying, originally when the budget was prepared, it was prepared on the basis that they weren't planning to have any increase in wages. This situation came up and it was looked at in terms of the entire budget of the library, and it said it would not impact the budget in the slightest. That is.
I just want it duly noted, and at the end of
You're
the year,
only interested in whether who you called a liar, all right?
Duly noted, and might I add that the budget committee approves the bottom line. And what the department does with the money after that really isn't up to us, and I believe there was a policy put in place, if it's still being followed or not, I don't know. But there was a policy put in place when I was a selectman, that all employee raises would be approved, would be done in writing. That would involve a review, an employee review, and the selectman needed to sign off on it. So if it happened and you don't like it, that's on you. You shouldn't have signed it.
I haven't
And you
signed.
probably didn't.
I
get
would
it, I get it.
suggest though that the library is slightly different because it does have its own board of trustees who run it, and
They do, and we just, all we wanted to do was make sure we had personnel files that had a paper trail, and we knew that people were being talked to as an employee, so they knew if they were doing a good job or not. We felt like a performance review was a necessary part of a pay
Right.
change, and that's all it was a paper trail. And
well,
honestly,
that's all
if
it
the
is.
library trustees said that they wanted to do it, the selectmen, as you said, really have nothing to say about whether or not it's okay. But that way, the other thing too is that we ran into a lot of people who would either get hired or get a pay change, and the administrative assistant had no idea, and that's who's running the payroll.
So they get if they want, any department wants to do an increase, they have to submit.
That was the policy we put in place. I'm not
That-
saying
Is
it
that
still
still the
exists.
case?
No,
Oh, okay. So, how does somebody get a raise?
Depends.
Well, one thing I've
It
learned.
depends on the department and so many things, which is why we wanted to have.
The one thing I've
Standards.
learned from this meeting, if I piss you all off well enough, you'll speak loud enough for me to hear.
There you go.
All right. Anything else,
No, we'll see you in July.
Joey? So again, just a reminder, Sandy is gonna check and make sure the town hall is available for us, but we're tentatively scheduled for July 9th, Tuesday, July 9th.
Which is
At 6
the
p.m.
off week for the select.
Correct. Yes, it's the in-between week. The second Tuesday, not.
Second,
Yeah.
then it'll be the second and whatever, 16th.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Thank you.